Yo, what's good, everybody? It is your boy Smoke 909 TV. I'm back. I did not want to start my first video of this year with MapleStory with irritation, frustration, and just confusion about what the heck Nexon is doing and how they release things. Um, if it isn't already known in the title of the video, the public test server, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, let me just get to my point here. One of the biggest questions surrounding the recent public test server that just happened today isn't even the changes themselves. It's how Nexon handled this selection process. I mean, it was terrible. As a player who genuinely cares about the future of this game, I think there needs to be a lot more thought put into how these decisions are made. Right now, it just felt like the process was designed more around avoiding controversy than building the best possible testing environment. I thought that was the whole point of the test server. I thought that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get results. And I understand Nexon doesn't want to be accused of playing favorites. I understand they don't they don't want criticism because someone is friends with a certain content creator or part of a certain community, or they're associated with people the company may not agree with. But come on, if the primary goal was to become avoiding criticism, then you're missing the bigger picture. So Nexon, you need to really think about that. Sometimes y'all come off like y'all trying to avoid criticism with the selection process. I just thought that the purpose of the public test server should be to get the best feedback possible, period. That should ultimately be it. We want the best feedback possible. And how can we get that? That means by bringing in players with different backgrounds, different play styles, different levels of progression, and yes, even different opinions. Some people will praise your decisions. Some people will challenge them. But both perspectives I feel like are valuable if the goal is making the game better. Let's just keep that at the forefront. But the biggest frustration I'm having right now is that there are passionate players, knowledgeable players in this community who have invested years into this game. People who understand the systems, understand the economy, understand the class balance, and generally want MapleStory to succeed. These people have helped myself as a new player and others learn more about the game. But when those voices are left out, it raises questions to me as a consumer about what the actual selection criteria are and whether the process is whether this process was really truly serving its intended purpose. I'm doubting that right now. I really am. Nobody's asking for a perfect system, Nexon. We're not. That's unrealistic. But players do deserve a process that feels thoughtful, transparent, and focused on improving the game rather than avoiding uncomfortable conversations. And it just feels like that's what Nexon constantly does. Avoid uncomfortable conversations. Which it's a video game that's free to play. We're not even going to have anything too crazy. But the reality is this. Criticism isn't the enemy here. I don't feel like it is. Constructive criticism is one of the most valuable resources any developer can have, Nexon. Some of the best improvements in gaming history happen because developers listen to players who were willing to speak honestly about what was and wasn't working. Remember that. At the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing. We want MapleStory to be successful. We want the updates that make the game better. We do. We want testing. We want the testing process that you guys were initially putting forward that puts the health of the game first. Remember, we want that. So let's forget about all that. Let's forget about, worrying about who you're selecting and really make sure we're serving the right purpose here. And if Nexon wants players to have confidence in these programs moving forward, then transparency just can't be an afterthought. It needs to be a priority because trust isn't really built on shutting out these voices. It's not. Trust is built when players understand the process and believe that the people providing the feedback were chosen because of the value they bring, not because they're the safest choice. And at the end of the day, I felt like Nexon said, you know what, we're going to fly under the radar. We're going to do the safest choice. Did you notice that I felt like, they went out and put this little weak announcement out there about, no codes were sent out essentially. But if you load up your Nexon launcher and you saw your email, you'll see the public test server. I think they just didn't want a lot of backlash. They're going to get it. For those that did get the public test server, I want to make it clear, I'm not hating on you guys. I just think when we have big, passionate content creators who have helped us all learn more about the game, enjoy the game from a different perspective, and they have put on events. What are we doing? What are we doing not including them? I feel like you had an opportunity, and they're going to do it for free. I digress. I leave it at that. It's good to be back on MapleStory, but on the other hand, Nexon still irritates me and makes me scratch my head. I'm out, ladies and gentlemen.